What's going on, everybody? Thank you for checking out the channel. In today's video, we're looking at the reasons why you want to build trenches around your base in Valheim. But before we jump into the video, I'd like to say, please subscribe to the channel. About 65% of you haven't done so yet, so it'd be great if you can go ahead and subscribe, and then you can get notifications when I upload new videos just like this one. So let's check out the gameplay. So if you haven't played Valheim yet, it's exploding on Steam. It's one of the most popular games, and it's now over 3 million players in less than 2 weeks of being live, which is just incredible. It's got a lot of beautiful graphics, and it's a lot of fun. It's actually an open world survival game where you have to go out into the sticks and into the forest and the woods. You have to go battle monsters, as well as learning how to survive off of the land. And since there are monsters in the game, you need to actually defend your base wherever you decide to build it. And one of the first territories that you start encountering is the Black Forest. And what you'll see here in some of the gameplay that I'm going to show, that I'm going to talk over, is in the Black Forest, we actually created a trench system around the tower that we occupy as our main fortification. So one thing that I learned very quickly in the game was building trenches helps defend the monsters and they won't actually cross it. So here's how we put it together. So here's what my map looks like so far. Note, all these are procedurally generated, so every single one of them is going to be different. But essentially where I started at the main house is we built the initial trench system there, which helped fortify it. Even though it was in the meadows, there's not a lot of crazy monsters that enter there. We still did it just so that, it was a proof of concept and to prevent any kind of monsters from potentially messing with the house when we weren't there. We then headed, in our case, a little bit west into the first dark forest area, and that's where we built what I call the Fort Troll Killer. And this is where we were able to kill the troll from higher point within the tower, where in the initial stage of first landing there, we weren't able to maneuver in and around that territory because the troll was right there. So we used that base very strategically as a fortification, got up higher to the troll, and then we were able to kill him that way. There were actually two trolls that had spawned in that area. But then in my particular use case, we wanted to say, okay, the north here was covered by ocean and we wanted to head to the south. So we built our other fortification down here, the second house. And so basically there's a dark forest on either side, which spawn monsters continuously. And they always like to come at you at night. So what we did was literally go in here and build a trench system all the way around. And you can, when you're down in the water like this and you have your pickaxe up to a certain point, it will become too deep, and I'm just going to estimate it's 6 feet or 9 meters or whatever deep, and you can't go any deeper. But basically you can kind of maneuver in the water and get to a point where you're a little bit higher, and it'll allow you to hold your pickaxe, and then you can go and strike the ground just like this and just keep doing it. And I turned it into a moat because I was able to funnel the ocean water in, so that now we don't have to have the risk of any kind of trolls or other larger monsters in the game coming after our base. The monsters from this area will spawn and they will float in the water. They will swim. So another thing that we came up with was actually building up, since we know that they won't climb objects, at least beginning stage monsters will not climb objects. I can't say anything about the ones later in the game. My guy's hungry, hold on. And so what we built was essentially this jetty, or this wall that goes along the edge here, so that when those monsters, and unfortunately I don't have one spawning right now as I'm recording this, but essentially the monsters will come in and they'll float. You'll either get too far away when you're in the base to where you'll be a certain distance and then they won't try to attack you anymore, or they'll come along here and they'll just float around in the water. And kind of like any jetty system that exists in like a bay in the real world, we put this one that kind of extends out into the ocean, so that it really gets to a point that they're either going to get pushed around by the current or they can't stand and they're just going to swim back to their home. So it actually helps protect this whole side. And we did the same, we used the same methodology over here on the other side. So the last bit here for building your base and having the trenches in here, or your moat, is effectively you want to block off each entrance, otherwise the enemies will come floating in and be annoying. When you get over here, we built this wall as well to prevent the other monsters, because they seem to have a spawn point that's right around here. We built another one of these jetties that protrudes all the way out that way, and that way it protects our ship and our own little kind of mini bay right here, and then prevents any other monsters from coming out and trying to get us. Now, if we were to add anything else, it might be building up this side just a little bit more, because when we were working on it, they were kiting around and then coming up here. But it doesn't really matter. It's at some point, if they're going to follow you all the way out that way, the AI is likely to double back and start coming back towards wherever you're at. It's going to like reprogram its route. So anyways, this is a really good tutorial and kind of a quick start to be able to get something like this started as a very good base defense, right? So you don't have to worry about anything coming and crashing down your front door. And then also when you're doing all that digging, you're also getting a ton of stone in that process. And so you're able then to build essentially these walls or these barriers around the edges of your base. So let me know what you think about your base design if you guys have tried this yet, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So far I've had a lot of success, even though we're still early stage of the game, we haven't quite defeated the second boss yet. We're about to do that as the next thing. But basically, when you're trying to start off in these survival games, you want to build out kind of your network, right? You want to have multiple stations, multiple smelters, and you want to get that production going. And this enables you to be able to do that efficiently without having to worry about getting attacked. So let me know what you think about it in the comments below. If you happen to like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment below on if you have dug a trench or if you've dug a moat or anything like that. It's kind of exciting to do. So comment below if you have done that. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I'd love to have you on board, and then you can get notifications when I upload new videos just like this one. So I hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next video.